We've already established that CRS implemented a contraception-promoting program called Healthy Choices 2 through a grant it received from the U.S. government agency PEPFAR. We gave several proofs from independent sources that CRS really did, in fact, implement the program, including an admission from the secretary of CRS Kenya itself. We also showed how completely vile the Healthy Choices 2 program is and proved that CRS contacted PEPFAR, who then falsified the government document by erasing all mention of Healthy Choices 2 in relation to CRS. Now we're going to examine another program that PEPFAR paid CRS to implement through the SADIA project. So let's go back to PEPFAR's 2012 operational plan for Kenya. Page 151 says that CRS SADIA will support implementation of PMTCT services through its sub-grantees, close quote. PMTCT is short for Prevention of Mother-to-Child Transmission, so the project sounds like something good, right? But then on the same page, PEPFAR indicates one of the focuses of this implementation is family planning. It also says that SADIA will focus on 4 prongs of PMTCT, including family planning. And then goes on to say that SADIA will support access to family planning and reproductive health services.
Well, of course, in this case, Catholic Relief Services would like for us to believe that family planning here means natural family planning, but we found another document that shows that what they're talking about in the PMTCT programs is not natural family planning. It's actually a lot more.
PEPFAR's 2012 Technical Considerations Fiscal Year 2013 identifies the integration of condom use and family planning with PMTCT programs. Page 10 indicates the integration of family planning into PMTCT projects includes contraceptive services. It says, quote, PMTCT and family planning integration, prong 2. Access to family planning is a critical component of a comprehensive PMTCT strategy. Key strategies for family planning PMTCT integration within PEPFAR-supported programs include addressing the unmet need for family planning and reproductive health through appropriate counseling and referral for contraceptive services, supporting programs to integrate family planning, including modern contraceptives. And here it says, PEPFAR-funded activities that integrate family planning in any way must meet all U.S. government requirements for compliance, monitoring, and reporting, closed quote. While the PRI investigator was in Nairobi talking to Philip about Healthy Choices 2, Philip told the investigator that MMAAK was also implementing PMTCT through CRS PEPFAR funds.
And this program involved the organization of couples days, where men and women were tested for diseases and then counseled on family planning. Philip told our investigator that if one of the couple was found to be HIV positive, the couple was taught how to use a condom. Here again, we find CRS involved in programs that clearly violate the teaching of the Catholic Church. We actually have posters that our investigator photographed in the MAC office showing this.
We've got approximately about 94% of all the women that are pregnant in the country attending at least one antenatal appointment. And of these, about 90% accept to get tested for HIV, which is very, very critical for the PMTCT program.
But since CRS's brief conversation with PEPFAR in Nairobi, page 151 has removed the family planning element from the document. Here on the left is the original document indicating SADIA's implementation of 4 prongs of PMTCT, including family planning, and over here on the right is the document as it appears now, indicating only 3 prongs and no mention of family planning. It's just disappeared. After visiting the MMAAK site, the investigator visited another CRS-funded location that was also distributing condoms. On September 4th, the PRI investigator went to a health dispensary administered by the Africa Inland Church in East Kenya. We discovered this spreadsheet on Kenya's National AIDS and STIs Control Program's website. As you can see here, Calamba, AIC, dispensary is part of the CRS Sadia project.
Now, at this Calamba dispensary, our investigator spoke with a woman named Ruth. Now, Ruth is the former head of the dispensary, and she had a lot of knowledge of the health programs and projects. She was trained in HIV counseling and testing by Catholic Relief Services.
Ruth told the investigator that through the HIV testing and counseling program funded by CRS, quote, condoms were part of the package.
She went on to explain that Catholic Relief Services was originally opposed to condom use. That was until CRS realized the role that condoms played in HIV prevention. And of course, they also realized at the same time that they would not get any PEPFAR money unless they agreed to participate in this objectionable part of the program.
It's worth noting that the AIC Calamba dispensary provides injectable contraception, oral contraceptives, emergency contraception, IUDs, and contraceptive implants. But the Sadia project isn't the only one indicated in the PEPFAR operational planning report in Kenya. On page 202, Catholic Relief Services received $8.8 million from PEPFAR for a project called AIDS Relief. Page 209 says that through this AIDS Relief project, quote, CRS will expand HIV prevention services to include evidence-based behavioral interventions, closed quote, including one called Sister to Sister.
Well, the PEPFAR document is very clear in this case. It actually talks about the fact that Sister to Sister focuses on safer sex negotiation and condom use.
Page 210 says that CRS will implement Sister to Sister on a pilot basis, and then it says that monitoring of Sister to Sister will be done through the review and input of CRS's implementation plan. Oddly enough, even though PEPFAR deleted mention of Sister to Sister on page 209, it left the description of CRS's implementation of Sister to Sister on page 210. Be that as it may, online investigations led to the identification of a 2012 Centers for Disease Control report on HIV prevention programs, listing Sister to Sister as a behavioral evidence-based intervention, also known as an EBI. Page 7 identifies the program as having been developed by Drs. Loretta and John Jamat. More on them in a moment. It points out Sister to Sister's adoption by the HIV prevention team at CDC Kenya to be adapted for diffusion in medical and health facilities throughout Kenya.
Dr. Jamat is she's one of the co-creators of the Sister to Sister program. She and her husband created the program. And I wanted to make sure that this was the exact same program that she had created that's mentioned in the PEPFAR document. So we contacted her, one of our researchers contacted her and asked her. We pointed to page 209 of the PEPFAR document and said, is this the same thing that CRS is supposed to be implementing? And well, her response was rather clear.
Here is her response, quote, thank you so much for sharing this report with me. Yes, this is the same project promoted by CDC as an EBI. I traveled to Kenya to assist them with the process. It was a wonderful experience, closed quote. So, the creator of the Sister to Sister program gave 100% confirmation she traveled to Kenya to help CRS implement the program. And yet CRS is saying this never happened, and PEPFAR is erasing the record of it. Let's take a brief look at what Sister to Sister is. The Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta referenced a document called Sister to Sister Evaluation Field Guide. On page 6, the CDC identified 7 core elements for the intervention which must be done and cannot be changed. It says, quote, there are 7 core elements of Sister to Sister according to CDC. Core elements are those parts of an intervention that must be done and cannot be changed. Core elements are essential and cannot be ignored, added to, or changed. And here is a table printed in the evaluation guide of all the core elements of Sister to Sister that cannot be changed. Bolster 3 outcome expectancies regarding condom use. Teach negotiation, refusal, and reframing skills using the 4-step SWOT negotiation strategy to respond to partners' negative reaction towards condom use. Practice negotiation, refusal, and reframing skills through role-play activities. And demonstrating how to use a condom on an anatomically correct penis model. Page 5 of the field guide explains that Sister to Sister, quote, is designed to promote condom use and increase condom negotiation skills, close quote. One of the objectives of Sister to Sister is to convince women that condoms are pleasurable. On the other hand, the creator of the program itself verified that the Sister to Sister program identified as being implemented by CRS on page 209 of the PEPFAR document was the same one she created, and she flew to Kenya to help implement it personally. In addition, PEPFAR clearly attempted to delete the record regarding CRS's implementation of Sister to Sister, but only partially succeeded. Furthermore, PEPFAR obviously sterilized the Kenya Operational Plan report to remove any mention of the family planning element in its PMTCT programs, and yet the PRI investigator was able to confirm that condoms were indeed an included element and that CRS was fully aware of it. Everything you have just seen is completely documented and verified. The contraception-promoting sex education program called Healthy Choices 2 was funded by Catholic Relief Services and implemented by its sub-partners in the Sadia Project. The sub-partners verified this, and an on-the-ground investigator from Population Research Institute confirmed it. The promotion and distribution of condoms was facilitated through CRS's funding of MMAAK and the Colomba dispensary. In addition, CRS received PEPFAR funds to implement the Sister to Sister program, which is all about condom indoctrination. And the creator of the program itself said she flew to Kenya to help get it started. There is no way CRS was not involved in the promotion of contraception through the programs indicated in the first PEPFAR document, and yet the only response CRS would give to the Lepanto Institute, Human Life International, and the Population Research Institute was that PEPFAR made a mistake and it's, quote, correcting the document, end quote. PEPFAR did indeed alter the document to remove mention of CRS's involvement in the promotion of contraception. There's no denying that, and CRS even admits it itself. Folks, this is a cover-up, plain and simple. It's a cover-up that involves two organizations, and it suggests CRS is willing to go to any lengths to keep bishops and the faithful from seeing the truth. But it also suggests that CRS's friends in the U.S. government are willing to help CRS cover its tracks. The Lepanto Institute, Human Life International, and Population Research Institute have done all the heavy lifting. Now it's your turn. You've got to contact your bishops and the bishops on the board of Catholic Relief Services and tell them you refuse to have anything to do with CRS until the bishops do the following. 1. Forbid CRS from receiving money or granting it to organizations that promote or supply abortion or contraception, especially the federal government. 2. Fire everyone involved in the acquisition, implementation, or oversight of this PEPFAR grant and whomever was responsible for directing the cover-up. We're providing the contact information for the bishops on CRS's board of directors. Please consider sending this full investigation on DVD to any of these bishops. Call them, write them, but above all, pray and fast for them. God love you. I'm Michael Voris.